Hey guys, today we're discussing these 7 pros as to why you would want to live right here in Phoenix, Arizona. And to be fair, we're discussing the 7 cons as to why you may not want to live right here in Phoenix, Arizona. This will be a good one, guys. Stay tuned. We got good versus evil, bad versus greatness, all kinds of good stuff. They're gonna battle it out. Stay tuned. Hey guys, this is Kelly with the Kelly Coop Real Estate Group. We are local realtors right here in the Phoenix, Arizona area, and we are passionate about our city and educating people and talking to other people about it as to why they would want to live right here in this amazing city of Phoenix, Arizona, and all of its surrounding areas, okay? Today is a phenomenal video, right? We are talking about the 7 pros and the 7 top cons as to why you may want to move to and live right here in Phoenix, Arizona. All right, guys, let's start here with the positive news first, right? The 7 pros as to why you want to live right here in Phoenix, okay? So number 7 is a forward-thinking economy. That's right, Arizona has a larger economy than the country of Ireland, actually, and it's a very forward-thinking economy. Right now, there are corporate tax breaks and incentives. A lot of corporations are starting to come to Arizona because of its business-friendly environment. Apple is making a $2 billion investment announced this year here in the Phoenix area. Google has its self-driving headquarters for their self-driving cars based right here in Phoenix. Uber has its self-driving cars headquarters as well, based right here in Phoenix. And you have other large companies that are pouring into the Phoenix area. McKesson has a big presence here, and Intel, Taiwan semiconductor plant. They're opening a huge plant up in North Phoenix, creating over 1,300 jobs. Again, like we mentioned, Intel, there are so many software companies down in the East and Southeast Valley. It's not even funny, guys. It is a very forward, business-friendly thinking economy. The 5 main sectors of Arizona's forward-thinking economy is defense, aerospace, tech, manufacturing, and healthcare. So that rounds out number 7 as to why you want to live in Phoenix. Now, number 6.
Okay, the 6th pro, the 6th best thing about the Phoenix City metro area is entertainment. So we're outside of iFly right now. Now, how many places across the country have indoor skydiving, right? So there's just things like iFly, Top Golf, Medieval Times, right, where you can go grab a dinner, watch indoor jostling, right, with men dressed in tights. I mean, who doesn't want to see that, right? So you have iFly, Medieval Times, Top Golf. You have the sports culture is phenomenal. You have all the major sports. You have football, professional football, NFL. You have NBA, the Phoenix Suns. You have Major League Baseball, which is the Arizona Diamondbacks. You have semi-pro soccer, the Phoenix Rising. Big following for that, by the way. And then you have NASCAR, right? Not too many cities have a NASCAR event once a year, which Phoenix does as well. So there is just a lot to do here. Now, being the 5th largest city in the entire country, there is so much entertainment. The food scene is incredible, guys. We have clients who relocate here from all over the country, and there's some cities that have some really good food culture. Obviously, Chicago, New York, places like that. Phenomenal food. San Francisco. However, you'd be surprised by the people who come from cities with phenomenal food cultures to Phoenix, and they are very impressed. I mean, very impressed, guys, with the variety of food here in Phoenix is just phenomenal, right? So come check us out. The authentic Mexican food. Phenomenal. That's my favorite, by the way. That's my favorite, guys. So being so close to the border in Mexico, man, the authentic Mexican food is just phenomenal here in the Phoenix area. So entertainment, concerts, guys. There are multiple concert venues, outdoor and indoor, and the top performers in every single segment, from country music to hip hop to whatever it may be, do perform here on a regular basis. So guys, Phoenix has a little bit of everything for you when it comes to the entertainment, which is the 6th reason, as a pro, you want to move to Phoenix.
Okay, the 5th reason why you want to live here in the Phoenix area is the amazing outdoor activities. The scene for outdoor activities, guys, is phenomenal. There's so much to do. Now, because we live in the valley down here, we're surrounded by mountains almost 360 degrees around the Phoenix area, it makes do for some amazing, gorgeous hiking, guys. The sunrise in the morning. Oh, we have 2 famous mountains right in the center of Phoenix. You have Camelback Mountain, which has actually shaped like a camel. You have Mummy Mountain right in the center. You also have Squaw Peak. You have some just phenomenal hiking throughout the entire valley that we take advantage with our family as well. Now, outside of hiking, you have mountain biking in those mountains as well, right? Amazing mountain biking trails, guys, that you can go forever and ever and ever out in the desert, okay? You also have outdoor ATV. You can do that in the mountains as well. You also have road biking now. I myself, I do triathlon, so I love the road biking, and I love the Arizona weather. You can get up early in the morning, get out and knock it out before you go to work, 5 o'clock, 5:30, and it's not that cold out. It's already fairly warm and mild outside. Just a beautiful time to be outside in Phoenix here in Arizona. You also have all the sports activities, guys, for kids activities, kids sports, year-round baseball, year-round football. Basketball is year-round if you want to be anywhere for that, right? Because it's indoors. But year-round outdoor activities, golf, tennis, pickleball, which is a big one out here now across the country really, but in Phoenix especially is big because you can play pickleball all year round. Golf, guys, golf, phenomenal golf, right? Scottsdale is known as the golf mecca of the world. Amazing, beautiful courses, guys. We have other videos on the courses and golf courses throughout Scottsdale alone. There are so many good ones and good things to talk about. But outdoor activities, guys, make Arizona the number 5 reason as to why you want to live here, okay? Now, moving on up.
Okay, guys, the number 4 reason why you would want to move to the city of Phoenix, the 4th pro, if you will, on our list, is real estate. Guys, real estate in Phoenix is gorgeous, okay? There's a lot, obviously, of desert landscaping, but the different style of homes here in the Phoenix area are just phenomenal. So you have homes that range from territorial Santa Fe style to modern transitional style to desert contemporary styles to Tuscan styles and everything in between. The stucco, the tile roofs, things of that nature make Phoenix a really special place for architecture and real estate. A lot of beautiful commercial buildings as well throughout the Phoenix area. You know, Phoenix obviously has a very spread out area when it comes to business, right? We have a downtown district, obviously, at Phoenix. The next biggest job employer is the Old Town Scottsdale area and the Scottsdale Air Park area. And then you have the Westgate, area where you have a lot of entertainment and some job employment out there in the Glendale area. But overall, the real estate, guys, is a big draw for people moving to Phoenix. It's lower maintenance. These tile roofs that we mentioned, they will last. I mean, the actual shingles, the tile shingles themselves, they'll last 50, 60, 70 years. You do have to replace the underlayment, every 20 years or so on that roof, but it's very durable. The stucco is very long lasting, durable, low maintenance, and it does a really good job with dealing with the heat down here in Phoenix, because as we know, it is hot. I mean, very hot in Phoenix, right, at certain times of the year. So again, real estate, guys, we fell in love with it when I first came down here. It's different. Me growing up in the Midwest, it's different. But we fell in love with it, and the real estate is a big draw for people coming to Phoenix, and I bet for you, it would be too.
Okay, guys, now number 3, the third reason as a pro why you want to live here in Phoenix is traffic. Guys, Phoenix is the 5th largest city in the nation, okay? Yet it's not even ranked in the top 30 for the worst traffic cities or areas throughout the nation. So that is phenomenal, right? We have a loop system with interstates that actually go through the 101, the 202, the 303, that loop around the entire valley, keeping everything interconnected with the main interstates, the 17, the 10, the 51, and it just really flows well. Also, Phoenix is built on a grid system, guys. So grid system is ingenious, right? You have these square miles that have grids throughout most of the valley, and it was developed that way on purpose to deflect traffic all the different ways, so there's even flows of traffic and not big bottlenecks, guys. So they did a great job planning the city out, thinking with the end in mind, so to speak, right? Many, many years ago. So the interstate system is phenomenal. The loop system, traffic, guys, it just really is not a bad thing here in Phoenix. You have an HOV lane. Most big cities have that. But you have an HOV lane where obviously throughout the hours of 6 and 9 in the morning or 3 and 7 in the afternoon, you can actually hop in there as long as you have 2 people or more, and you can ride in the HOV lane, which is much faster. Or if you have an electric vehicle with the cloud plate, you can do that as well in the HOV lane. So really, really cool interstate system. And guys, if you haven't seen it, it's awesome. The interstate system is beautiful, right? You wouldn't think that'd be something you say about interstate system, but you look at the murals and the art that are on the bridges, and it's just amazing, guys, because a lot of the interstates actually in Phoenix are actually dug down. Some of the bridges don't get built up. They actually were at a grade, and they dug the interstate down below the bridges, actually, on a lot of the interstates throughout the Phoenix area. So guys, traffic, It goes well. There is some jams every once in a while at certain points throughout the city, guys, but for being a major metropolitan area, the traffic system is a reason to live here, okay? Less time in your car, more time with your family. Okay guys, the second reason why you want to live here in Phoenix, Arizona is the healthcare system, okay? The healthcare system is phenomenal, okay? Main reasons why is because it's convenient. There are several large healthcare providers down here, Banner Health, Honor Health, and the biggest one of all that everyone knows is the Mayo Clinic, right? We have not just one, but two Mayo hospitals right here in Phoenix, okay? You have a Mayo Hospital, which is this enormous large hospital that they are currently still expanding upon, located right on the border of Phoenix and North Scottsdale. And then you have the Mayo Clinic, which is out in East Scottsdale, that obviously people from around the country come down here to get world-renowned care for things they have going on for healthcare, guys. So you are always going to be fairly close to a hospital when you live in Phoenix. That's a big concern for a lot of our clients that come down here. They want to know kind of where's the hospital, because in case I need to go there for whatever the reason is, or maybe they're getting older and they want to have just care really close by. So there are a lot of hospitals and healthcare systems, smaller doctor offices, private practices, almost on every square mile, it feels like, down here in Phoenix. So that is a huge reason to be in Phoenix, especially when maybe you're a retiree and you want to get out of the cold, you're done with it, and now you want to come down to Phoenix to enjoy your retirement. Phenomenal place to be, and healthcare is a huge 2 thumbs up for living here in Phoenix. Okay guys, and we are now to the final reason, the top reason, #1 reason why you want to live here in Phoenix. And it's probably no surprise to most of you, but it is, drumroll please, the weather. Yeah, that's no surprise here, right guys? The weather in Phoenix is amazing. Now we do have some warm summers, but it's a dry heat. Dry heat, right? Okay, slap me for that one, right? It's hot, right? So dry heat, not dry, it's still hot in the summertime, okay? But here's the beautiful thing about Arizona, okay? Not just Phoenix, but Arizona. In the summertime when it's hot, okay? June, July, August. If you would like to, you can just pop up to Flagstaff, to Prescott, to Payson, the northern rim, which from, depending on where you are in the Phoenix area, if in the north side of the Phoenix Valley, it's only an hour and a half away, okay? Hour and a half away, and you can change the weather by 20 to 30 degrees. Yes, okay? So it's like you go from being in the desert to Colorado in an hour and a half to 2 hour drive. We love that aspect about living here in Phoenix, and most people live in Arizona feel the same way, right? There are times where you can see the amount of population in Phoenix on a July weekend, an August weekend, June weekend. You notice a big difference, right? There's less cars on the road. People have left to get up north, or maybe take a quick drive over to California to get out of the heat in the summertime, okay? So now I'm talking about this right now. You might be thinking, well, Kelly, you said this was the #1 reason it's a pro, not a con. And it is, guys, because until you come down here between October and April, it's hard to describe. It is beautiful. It doesn't rain hardly ever. The weather is sunny every day. We have over 320 days of sunshine right here in Phoenix, very little rain, and it's just amazing, guys. The coldest days in December will get up to 72, 73, 74, 75, and it'll get down to the high 40s. So you get a jacket on, it's just, it's beautiful, guys, and that's why people live in Arizona, for the weather. Then summertime, they will leave. They may have a second home somewhere else where it's cooler, or they might just get out during the weekends and go up north. It's an hour and a half drive to experience it to Flagstaff, 2 hour drive to experience weather that's 30 degrees cooler. So it's phenomenal. Getting the mountain air, it's just a great place to be. Arizona has a little bit of everything for you guys, and the weather is a huge part of it, okay? Okay guys, now we have to pivot over to the cons. It's not fair just to talk about all the good things and not talk about bad things, because every place has things that are at least a little less desirable, okay? So let's hit those 7 cons as to why maybe you don't want to live in Phoenix, Arizona, okay?
Okay guys, the #7 con of why you may not want to live in Phoenix, believe it or not, you'll probably never guess this one, is actually valley fever. So you're probably wondering, what is valley fever? Never heard of that. Well, if you're not from Arizona, you probably haven't, because 2/3 of all reported cases of valley fever actually are reported in the state of Arizona. So outside of Arizona, this is not very common. Thus, I'm assuming the reason why it's called valley fever, because we're in the Valley of the Sun here in Phoenix, Arizona. So what valley fever is a fungal infection that actually affects your lungs. How do you get it? The #1 reason you get valley fever is actually by digging. You get it from the ground, right? Maybe if you're in the backyard digging up a bunch of dirt, there's dust flying around, you're breathing that dust in, or maybe you're walking by a construction site, that sort of thing. That's how the vast majority, if not all people, obtain valley fever. So again, that's the 7th reason why you may not want to live in Phoenix. That wouldn't stop me, and doesn't stop most people, but it is a thing, and that makes number 7 on our list.
Number 6 are the creepy crawling creatures, the 3 C's, yeah. Okay guys, so we know that in Phoenix there are some different creatures that other places in the country don't have. Scorpions, rattlesnakes, black widow spiders, lizards. If I just freak some of you out, it's okay. Calm down, all right? Because I've been here for now about 17 years and I've seen a total of 4 scorpions, okay? And that was in one house I lived in. You know, I was there for 6 years, so it wasn't like it was all the time. It was less than 1 time a year. But when you do see them, it's not fun. Never got stung, but a lot of people do. And when you get stung, typically your body fights it off and you're fine. It's not like if you get stung by a scorpion, you have to go to the hospital, right? Now, if you see some infection occurring and a red spot getting bigger and bigger around where the bite occurred or the sting occurred, then you may want to go to the hospital, right? But the vast majority of people just fight it off naturally with their immune system. So although scorpions are, they're kind of nasty, they aren't the worst thing in the world, right? And here's the good news, guys. If you keep up on your pest control and you get rid of their food source, that alone right there will eliminate 90-some% of the problem, if you have one at all, okay? So the minute you hear those crickets chirping, call your pest guy, get rid of them, and chances are you just won't have any issues with scorpions, okay? It's kind of cool too. You can go out in the backyard sometimes at night with a black light and like some fire, and you can actually hunt scorpions. Yeah, I know. Boys will be boys sometimes, and my daughter likes it too sometimes. But in any event, they're not fun to deal with, so hopefully you don't see them very often, but they do exist in Arizona. Now, they usually are located more in the more mountainous areas or in areas where the soil's been turned up, maybe a new development has occurred, or maybe you live by a landscaping nursery where they're kind of tilling up the soil here and there a little more often than obviously the place where they don't at all do that. So when you're in their environment more, just more of an apt to have them. Now, the other thing, rattlesnakes. Guys, rattlesnakes in Arizona, I've been here, like I said, 17 years almost. I've only seen, I think, 3 rattlesnakes. So they're not that prevalent. Obviously, if you go golfing a lot and you're in the dead heat of summer and you are a bad golfer and you hit the ball into the desert and not on the green grass, chances are you could see one out there, right? So you gotta be careful when you go searching for a ball. Sometimes that Titleist Pro V1 isn't quite worth getting when you hit it somewhere in the desert in the summertime playing golf in Arizona, okay? So rattlesnakes, just beware that obviously they're bigger to see, so you can pick up on those a lot easier than you can a scorpion. But again, keep the mice away, and the rattlesnakes probably won't, you probably won't see any. And they're in the desert a lot too. So again, if you're in the mountain areas, you may have a little higher chance of seeing a rattlesnake, okay? That's just what it is. But they warn you, that has happened to me one time when I was out in the desert hiking and I just stayed away, no problem, right? But he warned me, so I listened and stayed away. That's rattlesnakes. Okay, now the spiders, every place has spiders. You have lizards. Lizards are pretty much harmless. But anyways, those are the creepy crawlies that, we know we have them, but you just gotta, handle it appropriately with pest control and awareness, okay? Okay, the number 5 reason why you may not want to live in Arizona is the dust, okay? The dust, and obviously we know about the heat, right, in the summertime, but the dust, it just is dusty a lot down here because you're in the desert, right? You don't have a lot of grass. Now, there's plenty of grass in certain parts of communities or cities, more so than others, but by nature, this is a Sonoran desert, okay? So you're gonna have dust, you're gonna have rocks, you're gonna have cacti, you're gonna have a lot more dust. In the summertime, when we have what are called monsoons, we have haboobs come down from usually the south, and they are, if you've ever seen these haboobs, it's something else, guys. They can range 40, 50, 60 feet or more in the air, and it's just a big, huge cloud of dust, looks like a tidal wave, and it engulfs the city sometimes. Last year we didn't have any, but sometimes you get 2 or 3 in the monsoon season, and it just gets your house dirty and dusty on the outside. Obviously, close the windows and doors, and you'll be fine there. But your covered patio furniture and that kind of stuff gets a little dusty. You gotta wipe off. So, it's just dusty a lot. So if you have a black car, you're gonna have a little more struggle with keeping that clean and dust it off. So maybe you don't get a black car when you're coming to Phoenix, all right? Or black interior. Black interior is awesome. I love black interior. I have dark gray interior in my car currently, and it's fine, but it is gonna be a little more toasty than a lighter gray or beige interior on your car, okay? But just be aware of that. A lot of people also get their car windows tinted in Arizona as well because of the heat and keeping that off the interior of your car, okay? So that's the fifth reason why you may not want to live in Arizona. Okay, now heading on to number 4. The fourth reason why you may not want to live in Arizona, if you have kids, are the school system, okay? Now it's no surprise, no shock, you can go online and Google this, right? But Arizona consistently ranks for public schools in the bottom 10 out of the 50 states, okay? So that is not a great thing, it just isn't. However, like with anything, there are niches. So within Phoenix, there are a lot of niches with phenomenal schools, guys. There are public school districts that are phenomenal. The Scottsdale School District is highly rated. The Paradise Valley School District is highly rated. The Chandler-Kyrene School District is highly rated. And there are others. We can do a whole video on just school districts here, guys. But in addition to the public school system, you also have a lot of charter schools, guys. We have charter schools where they are free to attend, right? They're not private, they're chartered by the state, and they have good education. Now the downside with those is you don't have all the sport activities that public schools has, but you have good education. You have a ton of private schools, Catholic schools. You have traditional schools, which are very similar to a private school, but those are free as well, funded by the city or the state. And then you also have basis, and you have some really high-end and great hearts. You have really some higher-end academic schools that start at preschool and go all the way up. So although we get a bad rap for having a lower rating on the school system overall, nationally, there are some niches within every single city and suburb that are phenomenal schools, guys, and a lot of them are free. So don't let that deter you overall, okay? But that, nonetheless, because of the rating, is a con, all right? So now, moving along to the number 3 con of why you may not want to live in Arizona.
Now the number 3 con as to why you may not move to Phoenix, Arizona, is the lack of public transportation. Now Phoenix is very spread out. By the way, this time of year, it can be a little dicey sometimes with the amount of people here in the valley because of snowbirds, right? Okay, so lack of public transportation. Now, by that I mean, in most cities, major cities, right, they have subway systems, they have rail systems, things of that nature that Phoenix honestly just doesn't have a whole lot of. Now, what we do have, which was started several years ago and is now completed for at least the time being, is what we call the light rail system. Now, the light rail system actually originates in downtown Phoenix, and it runs up the central corridor into north central Phoenix. It also runs west into West Phoenix, and it runs east as far as the city of Tempe. However, that's just a small percentage of the entire greater Phoenix metro area. So the public transportation system for the light rail just isn't that great because the coverage is not that good. The city is so expansive. I think Phoenix right now is ranked as the #1 city in the country for square miles, okay? So everything is 20 minutes away, right? You wanna go to the store? That's 20 minutes away. You wanna go to get something to eat? 20 minutes away. That's kind of the running joke living in the city of Phoenix. So the lack of a transportation system, from a public transportation system, we do have busing, we do have that ability, but even then the buses in some cities like Cave Creek, Scottsdale, Fountain Hills, the buses don't come that often, they're not that plentiful, okay? So again, if you're living in the suburbs, the transportation system just is not the best. If that's what you're used to living in a city currently, like maybe a Denver or a New York City or Chicago, right? You're just not gonna find that aspect here living in Phoenix.
Okay guys, number 2 reason why you may choose not to live in Phoenix are the snowbirds. Yes, not the ones that fly in the air, but the ones that come down from all the northern Midwest states, right? East Coast, Pacific Northwest, and they invade Phoenix in November approximately, right? And they stay till March, April, right? Because the weather is so phenomenal. So that could be a con because you do notice the streets and the interstates, they do get busier, right? There's noticeably more traffic. Sometimes the traffic drives a little slower too. So that could be a little frustrating, but that'd be the number 2 con. Now, here's the flip side of that. It does generate a little over $2 billion to the local economy here in Phoenix with all the extra money that pours into the city and state from the snowbirds. So that's a positive, but sticking with the cons, the negative could be that you get to plan maybe a little bit earlier to go to that event you're heading to, that meeting you're going to, because the traffic may be a little bit heavier, and reservations at restaurants could be a little tighter, things of that nature, guys. So just something to be aware of, okay? Now, number one reason why you may not want to live in Phoenix, this should be no shocker, the summer. Okay, the summer. As great as the weather is, and is overall, in my humble opinion, a huge pro, the number one con is the summertime, because guys, it's heat, and it's hot, and it's dry heat. And dry heat, yes, is better than wet heat, but when it's 115 degrees, that's pretty hot, okay, no matter how you slice it, right? Now, there's ways to get around that, right? You stay indoors, obviously, air conditioning. If you want to go outside and do any activities, you still can. You just got to go earlier in the morning, right? Be done by 10, 11. Make sure you wear sunscreen, hydrate, and then you get through it, guys. And again, like we talked about, you can go north, hour and a half, 2 hour drive, and you're in a whole different atmosphere and weather and temperature. So, but it is hot in the summertime. Now, you do get used to it. I go back to the Midwest now, and it gets a little chilly, like 60 degrees, and I'm like, oh man, I need to put on a coat or a sweatshirt or something, right? Because the blood does thin out because you adapt to that heat, which is nice when you're living down here. So, even though we don't have very much humidity, we do have a lot of heat. Now, there were about, I think the record down here in Arizona is there was 40 days of temperatures that were over 110 degrees. That was a couple years ago. So that doesn't happen every year, so I don't wanna freak you out, but even 110 degrees, it's not that bad compared to 92 and 90% humidity in other parts of the country in the summertime. So good with the bad, but that is number one con. Guys, that wraps up our video for the top 7 pros and the top 7 cons as to why you may or may not want to live in Phoenix. Obviously, we love it here. We love helping people buy houses here and get to know the area better. And if we can do anything for you guys at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can call 888-KCREG11. That's our phone number. That's Kelly Cook Real Estate Group 11. You can email info@kellycookhomes.com. You can hit that subscribe button right there, ring the bell, and get notified when we have new videos coming out, which we will. 2 videos every single week to educate you on this amazing city that we love, work, and play in Phoenix, Arizona, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.